Hi. Okay, so this is Thomas Björge again, and I'm here to do well, this is the Game of Thrones tarot, but I'm not a tarot reader, and this is not a tarot reading. I'm something else, and this is an example of something else. But for the time being, this is gonna be a tarot writing. So, because I have this idea that I really want to convey to you. Look at this more appropriate t-shirt, by the way, Fire and Blood, Targaryen all the way. So I have this idea that I want to convey to you, and there is really no use in me just talking about it. The point is, you want to have an experience, and if you have an experience, then you'll get it. And the idea is about tarot writing. Now, if you want to become an author, you have to read before you write, right? So we'll start out with a simple reading. So here's the beautiful Game of Thrones deck again. And again, I use the Game of Thrones deck because it's a popular myth. So it's a living mythology, if you're familiar with the Game of Thrones series. So this is something that is immediately accessible. The characters in this deck, they're characters you know and love, or in some cases maybe you're not a fan of the characters. We have Littlefinger here somewhere. But several of them we really love, and it's easy to identify deeply with the characters. So yeah, I think that's enough for now. And so let's start with the tarot writing, and it starts with a reading, right? So let's do, again, something fairly simple: past and present. So I'm keeping this a little bit short because, you know, it's video and so on. But here's your past. Oh, Eight of Swords. Oh my God, I didn't shuffle the deck. So, since this one is turned up already, we stick with it. Okay, so I'm gonna shuffle the rest of the cards. That's embarrassing. But also, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But it's just, it becomes a little bit boring if I use exactly the same cards, right? So, okay. Shuffle, 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 and by the might of the seven and the old gods, and also that god of fire, you know, why not, why not? May this card reveal what they should reveal to you personally. Because never mind the other hundreds of viewers of this video, this is a message to you personally, and you know it. So 3 cards for your present situation and environment and yourself, perhaps. So, oh, interesting. I'm gonna turn them right side up because I like to use the cards right side up rather than reversed. It's good to use them reversed, but I prefer them this way. So, past, Eight of Spears, present and present situation, King of Coins with a horrible little finger in the middle, Queen of Spears, and Seven of Cups. Okay, so let's have a look at these cards. So listen, I decided I'm not gonna find a video for this card because I showed that video in the previous video. But this is the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Spears, just to remind you. It's the sand snakes, and you can see them in that little tent down there. 3 of the sand snakes, 3 of the 8 sand snakes. And the card signifies speed, speed, speed. Okay, so this card refers to one of the truly great scenes. As you can tell, it's Daenerys, and she's been talked into, well, politically coerced. No, you cannot coerce a queen. But she's been very dubious about opening the fighting pits in Marianne. Now, let's have a look at the scene. We can't watch it all because it's just too long. So let me see. Let's start it here. The harpy. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna make it a little bit brighter, and also I want to make it so I want to jump a little bit brighter so you can see better, and a little jump forwards. So I love the languages here, by the way.
They're waiting for you. Clap your hands.
Would you clap your hands? So she starts this spectacle that she's not very fond of. Then there's the fighting. It's boring. So I'll fast forward a little bit again, because there is some dialogue and it's okay. Hold on. So now the fights in the arena, they take a very, very surprising twist, because look who's here. I don't know which battle this is. It's the second, third, something like that.
You're an eloquent man. Doesn't mean you're wrong. In my experience, eloquent men are right. Every bit as often as imbeciles.
Good, a little wisdom from Tyrion also. But here we go. See? Do you recognize that guy? They do. It's a beautiful scene. Risking his life to be able to serve his queen again. He doesn't hesitate as long to clap this time, right? Okay, so we'll continue a little bit fast forward, because the fighting is the fighting, and you already know how it's gonna end. Yona is the hero, he's gonna win, right? So very dramatic at the end of the fight, and yeah, the killing blow. Oh my god. Okay, so hold on just a second, because I want to switch the scene so we can continue. Okay, and now of course the question is this: is Daenerys going to forgive you? So that's a surprise twist. He turns to throw a spear, everybody thinks it's aimed at Daenerys, but actually he saves her from Sons of the Harpy. So dramatic. Protect your queen. And there are Sons of the Harpy everywhere. Okay, and what happens next? So I think I did forgot to mention this, right? But this episode of Game of Thrones Tarot Writing does contain spoilers. Yeah, too bad. If you haven't watched all of the series, no. Okay, so here they are, surrounded in the middle of the arena. But did you hear that? Dragon. Blood and fire. Okay, and obviously Dragon rescues the queen. Okay, so all of that from one little card. This is one of the things I really love about Game of Thrones. It's like the cards are truly alive, right? You if you just watch the series, maybe you don't remember all of that consciously, but it's sort of there. The card is charged with it. And now, just like when you were watching the series and identified deeply with some of the characters, you'll find that this somehow relates to your present situation. Okay, next card. Okay, so Littlefinger, Peter Baelish, and do you recognize? Okay, slightly out of focus, but the coin he's holding, it's a Bravosi coin from the Iron Bank. So, as you may recall, Peter Baelish is, amongst many other things, is the master of coin. And let's have a look at this scene.
My brother instructs us to stage a tournament in honor of Lord Stark's appointment as Hand of the King.
How much?
40,000 gold dragons to the champion, 20,000 to the runner-up, 20,000 to the winning archer.
Can the treasury bear such expense?
I'll have to borrow it. The Lannisters will accommodate, I expect. We already owe Lord Tywin 3 million gold. What's another 80,000?
Are you telling me the crown is 3 million in debt?
I'm telling you the crown is 6 million in debt.
How could he let this happen?
The Master of Coin finds the money, the King and the Hand spend it.
I will not believe John Arryn allowed Robert to bankrupt the realm.
Lord Arryn gave wise and prudent advice, but I fear...
So, what can you say? Peter Baelish, maybe not just a magician, maybe someone who loans money, someone who puts himself in debt, and the kingdom. So, next card. Bran, and Bran is having loads of little visions here, and I think this card bears to be compared with another card. So just hold on for a sec. Now, if you're familiar with the Raider Waite, or Raider Waite Smith, because she deserves the credit, card, of course you recognize these two. But there is a very, very interesting difference, right? Because here we are dealing with Chimera. It's imagination, it's fancy, it's not grounded in reality. It's like when you walk in the desert and you see some mirage and you run and you die of lack of water, because it was just a mirage, it wasn't a real oasis. Fortunately you got to live again, otherwise you wouldn't be here to tell the story. This card, this Seven of Cups, it sort of subverts that meaning, because if you take a look at these things, right, these are all from Bran Stark's visions, and his visions are accurate. So this is the little medallion that the Night King is wearing. This is the crown of the Mad King. This is the wildfire. This is the Dragonstone spear that that kills White Walkers, dragons, and oh yeah, this is the castle. This is the castle where he sees to figure out the true identity of his brother. And this sword, right now I don't remember this sword. But the point is, Bran has access to real visions. So now, just a quick recap. This is your past, right? Speed. The beautiful queen, reluctant. This is your present and present situation. Beautiful queen, reluctant to follow through and to witness this carnage after she claps her hands. Ooh. And Bran having his visions, his accurate visions. Now, so this concludes the reading part of this. And now we are going to go into the writing part. And in the writing part, we don't so much try to describe what has been going on, what's going on. Instead, we start out with, what do we want? We start out with, what do we want and what do we need to get us there? What kind of future, what kind of changes in your present situation, what are the sort of things that you would like to add? Now, this is a little bit tricky with this particular situation, when I'm just, talking to a camera and you're just watching me through the camera, well, through your phone or computer or whatever medium you're using to watch me. Because normally I could ask you a little bit about what you want and what you need. And now, there is a trick to this, because when you ask clients, when you ask people what they need, and it's something that maybe they haven't resolved quite yet, the truth is often that they don't really know what it is. And so I cannot rely 100% on you. I also cannot rely 100% on me, because it's very easy for me to provide solutions, but those are solutions that are based in my model of the world. And we want something that works for you, not something, good advice, easy to give. We could also ask the cards. And that way at least we involve the unconscious processing, the abductive thinking, the deep metaphorical thinking. So, but we have already asked the cards a little bit, right? So we've consulted them a little bit. Okay, so the way I picked writing cards this time was simply I leafed through all the cards. And if you look at this one, the speed, well, I just felt it sort of could use being a little bit of balance. So I picked the King of Spears. Oh, yeah, and this is very important. Just notice where you're at right now. When you think about this little reading, quote unquote, that I'm doing. Just notice where you're at and what you're feeling, and do you know in which direction to move? No, okay, let's continue. So I picked Ned Stark as a balance to this card, and for Daenerys I picked the Sun, and for the evil bastard Peter I picked the Two of Coins, and finally I picked another Bran card. I mean, this is a good card as it is, right? So why not reinforce it? Okay, so let's have a look at these, because I think this card it's a beautiful card. Now, this is a scene just after, in the very beginning of the show. Ned Stark has just beheaded the deserter. And now he's sitting in the Godswood and he's just reflecting. And now you may notice that he's holding a spear here rather than a sword. So it's not so much intellectual, it's more, well, fire. Ned, I think this particular scene it has this quality of at-homeness, of really deep connectedness. So I'll find the scene, just hold on a few seconds.
All these years and I still feel like an outsider when I come here.
You have 5 northern children. You're not an outsider.
I wonder if the old gods agree.
It's your gods with all the rules.
Okay, so I'll cut the scene there. What happens next is also very exciting, but this is the thing I personally associate most strongly with the card. He's sitting under the tree, connected to his gods. Now, let's have a look at the sun. This card is a little bit of a conglomerate card. Many things, like first off the sun. I can't help but think sometimes that it looks like a sunflower. And these bands that you see, they're very reminiscent of the bands that we see in the very beginning in the opening sequence. And then there is a little dragon. Which one is this? Must be dragon. And some flowers in a pot. So, as far as I can determine, this particular card does not match any specific scene in the series. And if you happen to know a specific scene that incorporate elements of this card, give me a hint, okay? But this is the young Drogon, and this is about the age he was when Daenerys sought refuge in the city of Kart. But more than this, let's have a look at the card's role in the scheme of things, in the scheme of Westeros and Game of Thrones. The whole saga is about the Night King versus, well, it's fire versus ice. This card is fire. Fire, fire, fire. Fire, 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 fire. Life. Life force. Self. Your true inner self. Radiating, giving life. So that's what this card represents. Let's go to the next one. So this is the Two of Coins. And the Two of Coins is obviously, this is a little bit more of an abstract card, right? And you can recognize the background here is very much Lannister red. And what does it say? Maybe you see it mirrored. It says, a Lannister always pays his debts. A Lannister always pays his debts. There are many meanings to that motto. But this is, oh yeah, a couple of other things. You can watch the coin and see that it's actually a mix. It's the septa from the 7 gods, right? And then there is a Lannister lion in the middle. And of course there is the Lannister lion here. Now, it's a very central nature of money, that debts have to be paid. Or there will be consequences, right? this is simply the rule of the game of money. So that's what it is, and this plays such an important and huge role in the game. But it's about the right relationship, restoring the balance, having and finding the balance. And so finally, the Hermit. Again, it's Bran, and I think it's useful to know that the three-eyed raven, which is carrying the lantern which contains all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the true wisdom, the three-eyed raven, well, as someone tells Bran in another scene, you can't kill the raven because you are the raven. So that was the writing part. We added something, and we added it very intentionally. So we added this part of quiet reflection and connection with your gods and with your roots to the past. We added the radiance of life and your true self. We added the understanding of the medium of money to the present situation. We added, and when I say we added it to the present situation, it doesn't mean that you understand what money is right now, but it's pointing in the right direction, right? And we added this connection with your inner self. So that was just a hint about what writing with tarot can be like. And now, of course, I have a question to you. And this question is this. I asked you to check what were your feelings just when I was like leaving the reading part and moving into the writing part. And I'm going to ask you again to make a little inventory. What are your feelings now about that situation that this whole reading writing was about? Are they different than they were a few moments ago? And are they better, of course? I hope they are. Okay, so that was writing with tarot, and I hope that this has been an experience that you can continue to reflect on and deepen. And thank you.